is Mr. Gray. I'm going to let him introduce himself to you and tell you what he's doing.
All right, guys. I'm Mr. Gray or Mr. Owen. That's fine with me. I'm studying to be a library student. And I'm also representing the Watauga County Public Library right now, where I work as a youth services person and a comic book extraordinaire or especial. I don't know exactly what the correct term for that would be, but I like comic books and graphic novels and stuff. So I've come here today to do a book talk with you guys on some comic books. And I feel kind of embarrassed because Miss Glover just talked about all that respect sort of stuff and everything. I used to be one of her students, actually.
What?
Yeah. Was it 30, 40 years ago?
Oh, gosh.
No, I was one of her first students when I was in 5th grade, and back when she was a 5th grade teacher. And I'm just sharing this quick little story just to tell you guys about how much I like comics. And this was not actually in Mrs. Glover's class. Back then, when I was in 5th grade, we shared classes. I don't know if you guys still do that, but we used to go down the hall to Mr. Miller's class. And I don't think that Mr. Miller is still here anymore. He's a wonderful guy, great person, not the most interesting teacher in the world, not the most engaging teacher. So, and he would teach us math. How many of you guys like math?
Me.
Oh, okay, cool. Great. See, I'm right here with this guy a little bit more. I was more on I like reading, and math was not really my best subject. Yeah.
Division is awesome.
What's that?
Division is awesome.
Yeah, I like
math is cool and it's very useful, but when you have somebody up there talking like this, telling you all about how wonderful division is, you don't really believe it. And so me and my friends would sneak comic books in. Our favorite was Calvin and Hobbes. You guys like Calvin and Hobbes? Okay. Well, anyway, we would sneak comic books in, and we would hold them on our laps, or put them within our math books, and stuff like that, and flip through them. And I am not encouraging you guys to do that at all. But that's how much we were fans of comic books at the time. So anyway, so what I'm going to do today is I'm going to talk to you guys about some comic books, and well, anyway, let's just get started about that. And I don't know about you guys, but I feel like comic books have kind of gotten comic books or graphic novels have kind of gotten a bad rap over the years. You know, your parents don't really like them.
My dad loves
Your dad likes them?
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh.
Yeah. And your teachers, I'll take questions after this, buddy, okay? And your teachers, you know, sometimes, unless they're super cool teachers, you know. Sometimes they don't think that they're actual reading or, you know, really important for school or anything like that. Which, you know, I kind of think is a shame because some of the best stories that I've read in my life have been within the pages of a comic book. And like, you know, those Calvin and Hobbes books that I used to sneak in and stuff like that. But I think I know the reason why a lot of these comics and graphic novels and stuff have gotten a bad rap over the years. And I'm going to try and explain that to you guys today. What is the first thing that you guys think about when somebody says comic book? Go ahead. You first.
Funny.
Funny? Okay. Anybody else? Maybe.
Superman.
That's right. Superheroes. Exactly. Now, I'm not trying to knock superheroes with this talk here. I'm a fan of Superman. I love the X-Men. I have since I was little, and I will for many years to come. But it's not really surprising that adults aren't a fan of comic books when they open them up, when they see you reading one and they take it from you and they open it up. And inside they see a superhero clad in spandex so tight they might as well be naked. Violently battling another villain wearing even less spandex.
So they don't have nothing, they just have the bones?
I guess so. I don't know. But anyway, you can see what I'm saying. This is probably, the superheroes have helped to give comics a bad rap over the years. So I'm here today to share with you some comics that I don't think, or that have nothing to do with superheroes, and that I think comics that are actually maybe even better than some of the superhero books. Comics that your adults would approve of, and comics that have a little bit more to say about life than what bad guy is on the fighting schedule today. So without further ado, I'll introduce the first book. And this book is Malin Chad, The Biggest, Bestest Time Ever by Stephen McCraney. Have any of you ever wondered what happens when you strap your favorite stuffed pig, otherwise known as Captain Porky, into your backpack, which you've just converted into a jet-fueled rocket pack, and then push the launch button? Any of you guys ever wonder what happens? What do you think happens?
I think all the hair on the little porky thing.
That's a good guess. Here, hold on. Let me finish this. I can tell you that if your name is Mal, that doesn't happen. If your name is Mal and you're a kid genius, then that doesn't happen. It doesn't blow up. It just, blasts through your parents' ceiling, launches off into outer space, never to be heard from again.
I thought it was going to make pork.
Yeah, well maybe it would be pork. Or stuffed pork. Or fluffy pork. That's just one of the first adventures in this book, though. For Mal and his talking dog, Chad, here. These guys are always on the lookout for the biggest, bestest time ever. It says so right here on the cover. And whether that be, they do that through building shrinking rays out of vacuum cleaners, trying to make dog food tasty, building rocket ships, or even, dabbling in a little bit of time travel. But when his teacher, through the burden of a homework assignment, which kind of makes you go, ugh, right? Can you guys say that with me? Homework assignment? When his teacher, through a homework assignment, forces him to think about what he wants to be when he grows up, things get serious. Mal can't decide. He wants to do everything, which, I'm sure you guys do too. And so, in order to discover his true nature, Mal sets off on a whirlwind, haphazard adventure to discover just that question. Along the way, we wonder if he's going to be able to do this. If he'll defeat his rival, the snobbish Zachary. The snobbish Zachary, well, I'm sure you're nothing like him. The snobbish Zachary at the science fair. And of course, perhaps most importantly, we wonder if any of this will impress Megan, the girl with the cute face and the flaming dodgeball bomb. To find out the answer to these questions and more, you guys will have to check out Malin Chad, The Biggest, Bestest Time Ever by Stephen McCraney. Alright, let's see. Next up, alright, now I kind of tricked you guys. I said that these books have nothing to do with superheroes. And that's not completely true, because this next book, the characters in it like to dress up like superheroes, which oftentimes involves putting their underwear in unique places. So that book, without further ado, is called The Meaning of Life and Other Stuff, and this is part of the Amelia Rules series. Amelia is not really the kind of person who's defeated by life easily. I mean, as a member of GASP, the Gathering of Awesome Super Pals, she helped defeat the ninjas at the Battle of Parkview Terrace. And that's not something anybody could do easily. I know you or I couldn't. But lately, life just won't seem to leave her alone. Her parents have split up. Her Aunt Tanner, who she used to go to for advice, has left town to pursue a career as a rock star. Her principal has decided that she is a bad student. Just very, very serious bad student. And maybe worst of all, she's been tricked into joining the cheerleading team. Which none of you guys would ever do, right?
No. Never.
Yes.
Amelia feels like giving up. She feels like quitting. But when a real life tragedy happens to one of her best friends, something that I can't tell you about right now, she decides that quitting is not an option. So, with the help of some of her friends, who, like I mentioned, like to wear their underwear outside, she decides that she's going to set out and discover the true meaning of life. And you guys can join her if you check out the Amelia Rules, The Meaning of Life and Other Stuff by Jimmy Gallen. And then, last but not least, I'm going to share with you this book, and this book is very special to me. I think one important thing when you guys pick up a book is that you should get really excited about it. If you're picking up a book that you're not really excited about, you should probably put it back down. You guys might know what I'm talking about. If you touch a book, you can almost feel it hum with energy, you know? I mean, it's like you're just so excited about it, you're like ready to get home, and you don't want to do anything else except for read it. For me, this was this book, and this book is called The Unsinkable Walker Bean by Aaron Rainier. And just to show you how cool I think this book is, I'm going to read it to you, or read the first little bit for you. So let's see here if we can get this thing working. Ah.
That's the book.
There we go. All right. My R's aren't that good, so I'm going to have to read from this book right here. For hundreds of years, from seaport to shantytown, a legend has been told to the children there. The entire city of Atlantis gone, destroyed by two beasts. Thousands of people snuffed, families torn apart forever. The beasts were captured by a small fleet of surviving ships, sentenced to live the rest of their lives in an underwater prison. Somewhere in the middle of the ocean, off the coast of an uncharted island chain, there is a trench. For miles it dives beneath the ocean's floor, past smokestacks, spewing boiling, toxic sulfur. Here, where sunlight cannot reach. Here live the strangest of the strange. Here live the most evil of the evil. Here, in the deepest, darkest spot, the very bottom of the ocean, dwell Tartessa and Remora, the evil Merwitch sisters. Slowly, in their pitch-black cell, they began to lose their powers, which dripped out of them like silvery, glowing molasses. Desperate to hold on, they devised a plan, so they scooped up the remains of their enemies. And like an oyster forms a pearl, they swished the skulls and bones in their thick, nacre saliva. And when they were coated and transformed into magical, bone-shaped pearls, they spat them onto the seabed, and then stacked them up like a brick wall. Each enchanted skeleton reflected the secrets of its former life, the past, present, and future laid out before the sisters. Collectively, the omniscient wall projected a near-perfect picture of the world above. Their prison became their auditorium of knowledge. Even now, they can see us. The visions from the wall are so strong that only those with heart and blood as thick as theirs can gaze into it without going into shock and dying. But what would the price to pay to just look at one bone? A sniffle? A cough? I'd risk that to possibly get any answers to my long list of questions. Yeah! The location of John Rackham's treasure, the hidden cave on the hidden cave on Mount Nebo, El Dorado, the city of gold, Atlantis. Now I know we're related for sure. I'll see you when I get back from Panapin, bucko. Have a safe trip, Grandpa. Aye, aye, good night. Night. And that's that. Well, as you guys can guess, things don't go so great for Walker's grandfather. Walker was the boy in the images we see there. When he manages to steal one of the bones and look into its magic, he becomes ill, hanging on to life by a bare thread. So Walker must set out on a dangerous, high-seas adventure to return the skull and to save his grandfather. But before he gets very far, he's kidnapped by pirates who seek to sell the skull for profit, putting their lives and the lives of everyone else involved in the story at danger. Can Walker escape in time to save his grandfather and everyone else? To find out, you're going to have to check out The Unsinkable Walker Bean by Aaron Rainier. Well, guys, that's all the stories that I wanted to share with you today. I just wanted to say that these, and I brought you a list of other graphic novels that have nothing to do with superheroes, but are really great stories. I brought you a list of that. All of them are available at the Watauga County Library, so if you guys have liked anything that you see today, or you want to just come say hey and read some comics with me, come on by the Watauga County Library, and I'll help you check out a couple. All right, well, thanks, guys.